It's about bloody time I got around to opening these. This is the biggest Joytoy TMNT unboxing ever.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey you scallywags. Calcus Toys were kind enough to send me all the TMNT figures that I didn't already have in my collection from Joytoy, which means I've now got the complete TMNT Joytoy collection except for the 3 more recent figures, which I plan to hopefully pick up. Now I plan to do more in-depth reviews, but before we get into the unboxing and quick look at these, here's where you can buy them. Calcus is an online store that hosts a wealth of different toy brands, including Joytoy. Right now you are able to get a number of the Joytoy TMNT line, but they are selling quite quick, so it's worth your while to go over there. And plus, they do have other TMNT lines. Now you can get 6% off with my code ScallywagsTV-Calcus. That's ScallywagsTV-Calcus, calcustoy.com. Link to the store will be in the description of this video. Some figures I have unboxed already, but we'll go through each of the 6 different waves. The first wave was, of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themselves, consisting of all 4 turtles, Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello. Joytoy came out swinging with this release. First time we've gotten the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1/18 scale with a wealth of extras. A review of these figures are on the channel right now, and if you do want to get your own, they have actually been reissued since and are available on Calcus Toy. The second wave quite appropriately had 2 figures which could have quite easily been included as a 2-pack, as you can't really have your Bebop without your Steady Rock, or your Rock Steady without your Bop B, whatever that means. Initially, I skipped out on these 2, thinking that they looked maybe a bit too cartoony, but in hand, they are such awesome figures. Not only do they have a wealth of different extras, which is actually what you'll see across the board with every single Joytoy TMNT release, but they have such unique designs. They are obviously the same Bebop and Rocksteady that we know, but they have their own little embellishments that Joytoy have added to each figure. Not only that, you have articulated jaws, you have additional glasses and spectacle goggle things for Rocksteady, and just really fun figures. The only major negative for me is the fact that their tongues aren't painted the correct colour. Now these 2 are getting increasingly more difficult to get hold of, so if you are interested, I believe they are still available through Calcus Toy. The first of 3 figures from Wave 3, kicking things off, the master of Bebop and Rocksteady and the hand, is the Shredder. Oroku Saki here is not the design I grew up with, but this design from the early 2000s definitely suits the Joytoy designs of the TMNT, looking very menacing and not showing a shred of humanity. Unfortunately, what should have been the best figure in the line was hindered by poor articulation in the legs. Still a great looking figure with nice extras, but just falls short of greatness. Disappointment would be the main theme of Wave 3, or maybe it was just my high expectations that really led to my overall disappointment. Don't get me wrong, the foot soldiers look amazing, and there's so many different accessories to play about with and customize your foot soldiers. But when it comes to playability, the articulation isn't as good as I thought it would be. Actually, let me rephrase that. The articulation is all there. It's just that there are issues with legs popping off and the butterfly joints kind of looking all gappy. And on top of that, they have a very floaty belt with the accessories popping off all the time. They're just not living up to my expectations of them. They do look great though, and I actually like the cyborg looking one more than the standard foot soldier. But if you all wanted to get these, they are available. Wave 4 gave us one of the best female figures in 1/18 scale, in April O'Neil. Not only does she come with, again, a wealth of extras like every other figure in this line, but she comes with 2 Mousers, one of which is seen here, which is fully articulated. So if you do want your kind of Mouser fix, then getting April O'Neil is the way to go. Now, I held off from actually getting Splinter to begin with, as I don't think the promo images did him any justice whatsoever. And that is now confirmed now that I have this figure in hand, because this is probably the smallest figure out of the whole line, but it's actually one of the best and most articulated. And although there's so many different accessories to play about with, I've just been having fun posing and playing about with him just as he is. I was really impressed with the Fury Toys Splinter, but there's something about a tiny articulated ninja rat man in the 1/18 scale that just really speaks to me, and I think this may just have an edge over that Fury Toys one. Wave 5, finally, I say finally when really it's only been a few months between each of these waves, brings along Krang. And where Splinter was the smallest figure in this line, Krang is the largest, with his robot body thing anyway. The brain thing's obviously pretty small, but he also comes with this tiny mech thing too, as well as a number of different accessories for his hands to change to different weapons, etc. The main thing with Krang though is how imposing he looks against the Turtles and any other figure in this line. The design is very close to the cartoon from the late 80s, early 90s, whenever it was, which always quietly disturbed me anyway when I was a kid, as he just looks like a big, huge baby man kind of thing. So whether this tugs at your nostalgia strings, or you just want some cool, unique, weird kind of toy this design, then yeah, you should pick up Krang. Slasher is one of those characters from the cartoon that I was unhealthily obsessed with for some reason. I think because I like the Turtles, but he just seemed like he had a bit more of an edge. As soon as I started playing about with Slash, I knew immediately that I needed to get Toka. So I'm so happy that Calcus sent Toka to me as well. To me, Toka's head sculpt better fit this body mold. There's all the details and it looks more realistic than the Turtles. And Slash's head sculpt is a lot more in line with what the Turtles look like. So Toka's, I thought, looked a bit more sort of quote-unquote realistic and had that obviously articulated jaw too. But both figures are amazing. All the detail here you can see, and all the wealth of different options of weapons that really make these figures fun to play about with. Casey Jones kicks off Wave 6 and is another character I was unhealthily obsessed with when he made his debut in the cartoon. Straight out of the box, he has a completely different look to this. This is more of his classic look from the cartoon with his hockey mask. But it's good to have the options. I did have a bit of issues with his feet and removing those and changing them. I think the one on the right is actually nearly coming off, which is a bit worrying. And also the left leg popped off a bit, so I was a little bit disappointed there, but he does seem to be holding up now, but we'll see how that lasts in the future. He does look pretty good, as you can see here, and pretty happy with having a Casey Jones figure in 1/18 scale. I have no attachment whatsoever to the last 3 figures in Wave 6. In fact, I don't even remember seeing them in the cartoons, so they must have been at some point after that. But these 3 Triceratrons, I think that's what they're called, have quite easily won me over. They've really got that fun factor when you're posing and playing about with them. They each have the same base body with unique head sculpts and armor bits and weapons. They've even got barbells and workout bits that you can use, all of which just adds to that fun factor. But you have to have a good figure in order to have fun, and these figures are very fun to pose and play about with. I've just been having 1 or 2 on me, playing about with the kids on the sofa, just having a whale of a time. Or should that be a dinosaur of a time? Anyway, enough of the dad jokes. These 3 figures are definitely worth getting if you're interested whatsoever, or even if you're not and you're thinking of like some cool dinosaur figures you want for your 1/12 scale figures, as these will easily fit in to that scale also due to the proportions and the size of the heads. Definitely working in both scales. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What figures should Joytoy do next? I'm thinking Metalhead, Usagi Yojimbo, whoever else, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. It's amazing that they've already got this many figures out. That's 6 waves in less than a year. That's 11 months since October. Sorry, I mean 7 waves, because there's 3 figures I haven't picked up yet that have just been released. A big thanks to Calcus for sending these to me. Go check them out online, calcustoy.com. Use my code scallywagsTV-Calcus to get 6% off your purchases on anything in store. If you like this video, click the thumbs up for more content, subscribe, and I'll scale you later.